So we would love some reactions to our new dances and maybe a title for Telly's piece. You guys want to sit in chairs? All right, so comments, questions, anybody? Yes.
Well, I have to say I'm feeling a little sad that this might be the last year. It seems to me that you guys have reached a whole new level, and a lot of these pieces have new elements in them, so I find them very interesting, and some of it has stuff yet. So I'm excited. Yeah, this is great. I mean, really some new moves, some new energies.
We need 3 suitcases, the old-fashioned kind that you hold with a handle. Please go into your attics and see if you have one.
I have.
You have one? Okay. We definitely need a valise, an old suitcase, so for the first part of trains. Anybody have a question for any of the dancers about any of the new pieces or comments about any of the new pieces? Yes.
Yeah, I think it's nice to, Telly's piece is a little bit of a breakaway from the norm, and I think it's really, really nice. I mean, it does look a little rough, guys, but it really has a lot of energy, and I think that you'll really enjoy dancing. It seems like it has a lot of cool, kind of hip, rhythms and dance effects, so it's really nice.
What about a title for it?
What about Breakaway? What about Breakaway as a title? No.
I'll tell you what came up for me.
You're thinking what?
Hot. Okay.
That's a good one.
Hot, okay.
Okay.
Hot.
Not hot. Hot.
No, hot.
No, but in the beginning it says like hot.
Okay.
It's not hot.
All right, so that's a good title. Yes, Susan.
When I was watching it, I just felt like happy to be alive. That's what
Right.
it was, joyous.
We could call it Cool Runnings, too.
There's a movie called.
I
And anybody have any questions for them or comments about their dancing? Sarah, how did you feel about seeing everything was changed again?
Well, I was surprised. So, my feelings are very genuine because I had no time to prepare how to feel. But it looks completely different as a group dance as opposed to a solo dance, which is kind of a testament to what it is about itself. That everything must change. It's just, it was never destroyed, it's just changed, like the laws of the universe. Energy is neither created nor destroyed, it just changes. So it's good. It's good. It needs some work as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs quite a bit of work. We just really started on it. I think we've only had, how many classes doing it? Maybe 5 or 4? But they learn very fast. The choreography is extremely difficult, and as I watch it, I see there's places where I have to take out a few steps. It's almost like the Amadeus thing, too many steps. And so, what happens with me with choreography is I watch it, and then sometimes somebody, usually River, will say, well, I don't like that part, it doesn't really work, and I'll say, just give me a chance. Give me a chance to look at it, and then invariably I'll always change exactly what the dancers, the feedback the dancers give me about it. But it's only half a dance. There's I think 2.5 more minutes, so, and I've got an idea for the ending. It's not so much that I want to do a great piece of choreography to Everything Must Change, is that I want to use the occasion for them to really inhabit what that means, what change means. Any other comments or questions? Yes.
I think Patterns is one of my favorite things I've ever done. Both, I don't know, visually and Patterns. No. Although I like that too, but that also has some really interesting stuff. But I don't know, there's something about the combination of the music, the movement, the fact that you can watch a movement follow all the way through, that it's not quite as busy. It always just really fascinating. I like that.
Any other questions or comments?
I really like the personal percussion.
Yeah.
Piece, the snapping and which is probably hard to
Well, they did, but they were completely off time.
I think that's really, I really like that. Them adding their sound.
you know, there's too much unison in that piece, but I'm keeping it because that's what I want the piece to be about. I'm not trying to do another piece like Patterns, which is all about crafting the choreography. I want that piece, I want them to really experience for their last piece of choreography, dancing together in unison a lot. But you know, as I said, we just started. It's very difficult choreography. Trains was a cinch. They got that immediately because it's hardly any choreography at all. But this piece is going to be a bit of a reach, I think, for some of them. And all that. Any other questions, comments, thoughts? Oh, I thought you did a great job with Welcome to the World. I really did. And I'm always amazed that whatever audience sees it, wherever it's been done with now 3 companies, nobody claps at the end for a few seconds. And every single time, and the only other piece that I ever heard that happened with was the debut of Alvin Ailey's Revelations, where at the end there was that 3 or 4 seconds that people were too stunned to clap. And that always happens with Welcome to the World. So I'm always excited when I see that people are like, yes, Beth.
It was such a joy to see Trains again, because I hadn't seen it in years. And I also, what Susan was saying about patterns, there's something, just the shapes and the movements and what they're doing with their hands, it's just very compelling. But yeah, you guys really pull off Welcome to the World all on your own and make it, you know, it's great with the guys, and you know, but seeing you do the water scene was very strong. And to see, I guess it was all women, because you come in at the end, but it was really powerful to see you know, strong women doing that scene. So I thought they did a great job.
I want to say something about choreography because I rarely, if ever, because I work with children, and because of the kind of career I had, I rarely, if ever, get a chance to talk about choreography. And what I want to say is that choreography is extremely subliminal and unconscious. Sometimes, like a dance like Patterns, I will choreograph something and then I'll have to see it performed to know what it was about. And that section where they all back up into this tiny little space was about 2 things from my life, but I had no clue that that's what it was about. It's not like painting where you say, oh, I think I'll make a picture of a bird, you know? And you know you're making a bird or a person. With choreography, you don't know why you're doing anything in a particular part of the music, and then it's revealed to you later. So I think for me, when I was in high school, when I was flunking out of high school, which I flunked out of high school, I read every book in the White Plains Library about the Holocaust. And I remembered reading about the being in the boxcars like this, and I think it was a subliminal image. And then, as all of you know, I spent a great deal of time with locked up people in a small space. It's not that they're living in that tiny space, but compared to what they want to be in the big world, they're in a small space together. And I was watching Patterns, I guess it was about the 5th time it was performed, and all of a sudden I looked at them and I go, oh, that's where I was coming from. Because choreography is extremely abstract and ephemeral. It's you know, you don't really know why you're making the dance the way you're making it. So that's just a little bit of insight into how choreography happens. You're the best parent group I've ever had. Sometimes tonight, their performance, I have no complaints, you guys, it was brilliant. But sometimes I tell them, you know, you need more expression, and I have more expression with this group or that group, but I've never had better parents. Tonight you were just fantastic, you really were. We still need to work on that transition in the last piece, but it's new for you. But everything else is just fantastic, and all of the trying to force you to emote, it was completely unnecessary because you did it beautifully. I was really, really pleased and proud of you and smiled through the whole thing. Yes?
I mean, this really has nothing to do with the individual dances, but I just want to thank, it's kind of emotional, but I just want to thank all you guys for your level of commitment, and having this in my life has been really nice. Really appreciate it, and to be a part of this community has been really special.
You're
here.
That parent ought to know what he's talking about, because he did a lot of work last year to make Welcome to the World happen, a lot of work. And I just want to say before we depart, that we now have 9 people in Figures in Flight. If we're going to go to McKenna Theater, we are going to have to do some powerful audience building on Facebook, relatives, pre-sale tickets this time, or else these kids for their last show, it's going to be hard to look at that auditorium where they had standing room only practically last year. But I'm not bringing in the Kurhanks and Ukrainian dancers, I'm not bringing in the people, what I used to do in years past, so that they bring in audience. So we're all going to have to bring in some audience, because they do definitely deserve that. And thank you, Charlie, for everything you've done. And also Stephanie for everything you've done.
We got this for your birthday.
Thank you. A little backstory to these flowers. And I so want to thank the mother who sparked the bringing flowers to me, which I think was Callie's mom, right? Yeah, Natasha, because I was on the list.
Yeah, I
And I
realized
got
that
the
after.
email saying, I think we should get flowers for Susan. Is anybody willing to contribute? And I was just so much wanting to write back to Natasha and say, oh, I'll pay for the whole thing. So, yeah, it's been an interesting sale with each group and with this group, and I know sometimes I'm extremely demanding of them, but really, you were fabulous tonight. I just thought you were beautiful. Some moments with everybody, Lakota, that was the best you've ever done, Eliana's part. And it was just terrific. I mean, there were lots of mistakes because the space is too small and we haven't worked on things a lot, but everything that I asked you for in the last week, you gave me tonight. So I want to thank you for that. Suitcases, audience development, fundraising. Charlie will be in touch with you.